What up, YouTube? It's the Boomer Gamer Kid here, and I just wanted to welcome you to my new segment where I'm going to showcase you games that have fell through the gaps of publicity. And when I say that, I just mean that these games are not popular by any means. They're most likely going to be from a lot of independent companies, and these games are very good games, and a lot of the gameplay has probably never reached your eyeballs. You probably never even heard of these games. So I'm going to showcase you them. I'm going to give you a quick rundown of them, of what they are. But at the end of the video, I will not give a rating system. I will not give a score to them. I do not believe in scores. I believe that everybody should try a game, play it, and experience it the way they experience it. Now, before we get into the video, if you like this kind of content, please like it, like the video, comment on the bottom, tell me that you like it, and maybe subscribe so you can see more content. Now, with that introduction out the way, let's get right to the video. Hope you enjoy.
The gods have abandoned you. What love they once gave is now gone. The sea gives only water. The woods give only wind. The earth gives only dust. Even the midday sky gives only twilight. And with their shepherds gone, the sheep fall.
Apotheon. Apotheon is a 2D platformer slash hack and slash action game that was released in 2015 for Microsoft Windows, OS X, Linux, and the PlayStation 4. The game was made and developed by a company called Alien Trap that have also released games such as Nexus, Capsize, and Cryptarch. Apotheon's story is heavily grounded in Greek mythology, and right now, I'm going to give you a summary of its plot. Okay. So, Zeus, the father of all the gods, gets all pissed off because humans are becoming arrogant and all full of themselves and not bowing down to his greatness like they should be. So Zeus throws a hissy fit and tells his children, which are gods, to stop giving their blessings to the earth, basically taking away crops, animals, forests, all that good shit that we need to survive. He even took away the sun, which in my opinion is pretty hardcore. And all this ultimately plunges the world into chaos. With that, enters Apotheon's main protagonist, a badass little warrior by the name of Nicandrios. Nicandrios wakes up to find a whole ass army ransacking and killing his friends and family in his little village of Dion. So he's like, hell nah, gets himself armed up and starts whooping some ass. Once he repels the army, Nicandrios runs into Hera, you know her, the jealous wife who's always trying to trip Zeus up in like every game or movie that has Greek mythology in it. So she basically takes credit for Nicandrios' deeds, saying that she blessed him and whatnot, and asks him if he wants to give a smackdown to all the Olympian gods, so she can finally get some attention from Zeus, you know what I mean? Nicandrios, being the little badass dude that he is like, hell yeah. And then the game really starts. Apotheon has a brilliant art style that, no jokes, feels like you playing that spit right off some ancient Greek pottery. The way it's drawn and presented is so wrapped in the culture, it's actually pretty amazing. Like, I don't know if you ever seen The Prince of Egypt when Moses sees all the Egyptian writings coming to life in his dream and they're all falling like, yeah. Well, the whole game feels like that, and it's awesome. There's so much care put into the art and small little details that pop out at you at every corner. They do well with lighting, which puts Nicandrios in dark places that allows you to use a torch, which really makes the game pop and feel alive. Like, I don't know, everything just feels like it belongs. And even though it's a 2D game, the images and graphics make it feel like more than that. And maybe I'm biased because I grew up on Disney movies like Hercules, but the ancient Greek art style has always been an eye catcher for me. So the game is just extra cool in its presentation. The gameplay is just as dope, starting with combat. At first it might feel like your standard 2D hack and slash game where you're just going to mash some buttons as fast as you can and enemies will turn red, then explode into nothingness, and then you go on to the next one. But Apotheon is more than that. It has a deep, fulfilling combat system. Simple in its execution, but complex enough to give you a challenge with different enemy types. There are different classes of weapons in the game, anything from daggers to swords, spears, some big ass axes, and they all function differently. I mean, well, just mainly just the speed and distance at which they do damage. But this plays a high factor and makes you play differently when going up against different mobs. And I didn't even mention yet all the ranged weapons you have at your disposal, like javelins and arrows and hatchets and stones, which a lot of these thrown weapons can be picked back up so you can recycle a lot of ammo. The only problem I've seen with the throwing system is that you have the freedom to also throw your main weapons, and I often found myself throwing my spear or sword by mistake during a boss encounter, which was a bit frustrating, but it was definitely manageable. There's a small looting system in the game where you can find upgraded versions of most weapons to do more damage as you progress, which always makes you feel like you're getting better and stronger. I mean, not so much like an RPG because there is no leveling system, which I feel was a missed opportunity, but good enough that you feel like you're getting somewhere. The game has 2 health bars, which one is your actual health bar, the other is an armor health bar. There are 2 different potion types to replenish these, which are pretty easy to find because some drop from different enemies or in various breakable objects around the world, such as barrels, tables, chairs, etc. There's also gold to be found, which can be used on merchants around the game world who sell all types of items from weapons to consumables, even summonable animals that can fight by your side. The game is sort of a platformer as well, but to be honest, it focuses more on its combat than anything, with a bit of platforming here and there, which is totally fine in my opinion, but when it does give you a platforming part, it is satisfying enough to keep you engaged and challenged. As you progress in the game, Apotheon takes you through many different environments such as forests, the underworld, and even living and breathing cities that come with their own law system, reminiscent of games such as Elder Scrolls where you mess with citizens and the guards are going to freaking kick your ass.
Stand down, halt! You have broken the laws of Olympus. Pay tribute or submit to the judgment of Zeus. Very wise. We'll be watching you.
All the main NPCs are also fully voiced. Pretty well too. Like, I have played a lot of AAA games that don't have the same immersion in their voice acting that this game has. So that's pretty cool. Each area usually comes with 3 or 4 quests that you can pursue in any order you want. These quests usually lead you to different obstacles to complete or a semi-boss to kill. And at the completion of them, it will lead you to the big boss, which is usually an Olympian god. These bosses all come with their own mechanics and objectives for you to win against them. For example, in the Forest of Artemis, you have a back and forth battle where she turns you into a deer and tries to kill you while you hop to checkpoints to turn back to a human. And when you succeed, she turns into a deer and you try to kill her before she gets to the checkpoints. I mean, this shit is weird as hell, but it works and it is fun. Apotheon has a lot to offer, even a crafting system. I mean, it is not super intuitive, but it definitely works. And as you progress, you can pick up ingredients, which you can make into potions or fire bombs and tons of other cool stuff. There's definitely a lot to be had here in this game, and it can tick a lot of different boxes if you're into games like this. It has a pretty decent gameplay length, with the average beat time stemming from 8 to 10 hours, and plenty of extra stuff to look for, such as collectibles and lore to read all along the game world. Plus, it has a fast traveling system that allows you to go back and forth from areas you already explored. The game has surprising depth to it, with objectives that will take you well into the sky or even deep down in the ocean. There's mythical monsters to beat and shocking visuals, such as naked nymphs and horny satyrs with erect you know whats. So, I'm gonna wrap this up with some final thoughts. This game definitely, in my opinion, is a hidden gem. If you have never played it, it is well worth your time. It is available on the PSN store and also Steam. So if you're like me and love to try a new game and have never heard of this game, it is definitely one to give a shot to. The developers seem like they put a lot of work into it to make a game they thought that you would enjoy. And with that, I'm going to end this segment. As always, this has been the Boomer Gaming Kid signing out. God bless, stay safe, and have a great day.